Hello everybody and welcome back for more Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. In the last episode, we learned the Goron Lullaby, and we also used that to get that Goron baby to shut the fuck up. And we also used that to put that big Goron up to her down to sleep, and gave us access to the next dungeon. In this episode, we're gonna head over to the next dungeon, the Snowhead Temple. Getting over there kind of is a pain in the ass though, because the game actually wants you to use the rolling Goron to get up there because of how long the road is, but it's also risky at the same time because there's a risk of having to fall off, and I guess we would also die just like Darmani. Okay, well we won't this time though, but anyway, I made it up there, and I made so many attempts for this one because you see how I had to do the jump cut here. Anyways, here's dungeon number 2, the Snowhead Temple. Snowhead Temple, well, it is a very tall dungeon. It kind of does remind me of the Ice Palace from A Link to the Past in a way. And also, there's our first kind of the white bows. They're exactly the same as the black bows. And, they'll spawn constantly. They can be, well, not these ones, though. But there's some of them that can spawn constantly. They're absolutely annoying as shit. But, yeah, and also this block here, I didn't get any more than average strength. Yeah, you actually have to push, you have to be a Goron Link to push this block because regular Link can't do that. So anyway, yeah, the Snowhead Temple, yeah, like I said, it kind of reminds me of the Ice Palace from A Link to the Past. Well, I guess for one thing, guys, there's like so many floors, but there's a few bits of ice physics here, but you're not going to be dealing with them as much though, because Goron Link doesn't really suffer from any of those, thankfully. I'm actually real glad about that one for once, because for the most part you'll be playing as Goron Link, but there's some instances where you'll need regular Link. Like say for instance, that we're going down here because there's 2 stray fairies up there. Yep, once again, just like before, we're gonna go around collecting the 15 stray fairies in this dungeon. Like I said, they are optional, of course. I mean, you're not necessarily required to have them, but it is highly recommended because payoff and the benefits you get from the power up, they're very much worth it. As a matter of fact, this upgrade that we're going to be getting after this dungeon, it's going to really be worthwhile to us. I mean, we're definitely, well, actually, especially since you're definitely going to need this kind of upgrade, especially for this game here. Now, like I mentioned beforehand, I did make many attempts for this one because, well, the reason being is because I actually want to make sure that I wanted to go through this in a very fast kind of time. And that's also the reason why I restarted the whole attempt, like when I did the recording. Like I already uploaded the video, but then I had to do the whole thing again because I wanted to make sure to get it in short time. The reason being is because I want to make sure that I beat this dungeon on while it's still day 1. The reason for that though is because I want to be able to get to the mountain smithy after we clear this dungeon, and then they'll be able to do the sword services. But it's one of those things where oh yeah, by the way, these are free zards, another returning enemy from Ocarina of Time. If you touch it, then you'll get frozen solid. So anyway, yeah, I want to make sure to get to the mountain smithy because it's one of those things where it's a whole 3D thing. Like you get 2 upgrades for the sword. One's a temporary upgrade, but then the other one's a permanent upgrade. And I want to be able to get those in the whole 3D cycle because that's actually what it really takes. Because you want to get your sword upgraded, you really can't waste a day for that one. You have to make sure to get the first upgrade on day 1, and it can be anywhere on day 1. Like even when it gets close to the night, and then they'll be able to finish that sword for you. So yeah, because of that, I really want to make sure it's still day 1, so that way there I can get the sword. So that way there I wouldn't have to worry about having to restart a whole cycle, and then having to beat the dungeon's boss again. Which thankfully though, like I said, I did mention this about the Waterfall Temple, is that you can actually replay dungeons if you want to, but once you restart the cycle, like after the dungeon's cleared, defeat a boss, there's that portal or that little light that is on top of that stump. Or the tree stump, and it'll take you directly over to the boss. So that way there you won't have to go through it all. So I'm actually real thankful about that one. There's some things I want to get, but it has to but the whole regional phenomena has to be solved. But now granted though, I probably could have just gone ahead and done that right away, like take some hot spring water and then melt the ice that's covering the hearth in the mountain smithy, and then just get the sword right into there. But I didn't want to do that because, well, I feel like I kind of need the sword here, like the Kokiri sword, because I mean, there's some instances where I might need some, and then it's not gonna feel right to just go in a dungeon without a sword. I mean, I could still punch with Goron Link though, but I'd still rather I still rather not do a dungeon swordless, you know, very much like the sword link glitch in Ocarina of Time. You guys remember that? But that was like in the original version where it was possible. Like the very first version where it's more glitchy. You know, for those copies, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, all those tangents aside, yeah, I'd rather just you know, just make sure that it's on day one. That's why I'm trying to hurry, and so I had to make these attempts, like several attempts, because I was trying to my very best not to fuck up on this dungeon, because you know, that's why I had to do those save states on some instances, because I kept fucking up a lot. Like I would just roll off the course as Goron Link, and then it's actually a waste of valuable time. Like just waste a couple of minutes, because you know, in Majora's Mask. No matter what you do, like, time's always going to pass. Like, you know, the clock is there for a reason. I mean, mainly so that, you know, if the time runs out, or every race is over, then, you know, the moon crashes and everyone's dead. But, no, in this case, I needed to hurry because I just want to get my sword upgraded, and I want to make sure that it's done that in that very same cycle, as long as it's day one. So that's what you have to do. So, you know, in day one, like, you know, you can turn the sword in, and then once day two comes, then your sword is finished. Oh, yeah, don't touch the, those ice. Don't touch the ice here, because, yeah, that's what happens when Link gets frozen solid, and then his health gradually depletes. And then by day two, they'll finish the sword, and then I can turn it again on that very same day two, but I have to have some other kind of item with it as well. And then I can turn that one in with that said item, and then by day three, then you get the permanent upgrade. That's actually how it goes in the Mountain Smithy. So I want to make sure that I want to do it all the same cycle, but as long as it's still day one where I finish this dungeon. So that's why I want to hurry as much as I can and make sure that I don't fuck up on any of these. Because, and you know, just and that would just waste some time. Even though I'm playing the, even though this is on the Song of Inverter time, but, where, you know, where I'm getting plenty of time here, but at the same time, I didn't really want to run too many risks here. So, so yeah, that's actually the reason. So I had to do so many of those attempts to just, you know, just make sure I don't waste any of the time. So, anyway, so, oh yeah, and also I do want to apologize that I haven't uploaded in the past 2 days. Like I was going to back then, but I couldn't though because once again my voice was shot. Where, like, you know, how I've been saying how there have been times where my voice gets hoarse. Well, it actually was very much, and I decided that I just didn't want to do commentary on that one because, you know, because the thing about it is that, you know, I hate doing commentary with a shot voice. And because, you know, it's not only would it might be hard for me to make out what it is I had to say, but at the same time, it would just, it would make my commentary suck. Like, I would just, like... You know, it's kind of hard for me to be able to come up with words to say while my voice is hoarse, and you know, because of that, my commentary would turn out mediocre, and you know, and I don't think my anxiety could take with having to go through like mediocre commentary. Like I want to make sure it's good, you know, with all the clear voice, like it is right now though, but I just want to make it good, and also because of that, my throat was kind of starting to hurt, so I mean. Like I don't think anything bad's happening. You know, it's not the first time it's happened. It's happened like from time to time though, but like not too much though. But you know, I guess because you know it's happened in the past few years where you know on some certain times, like especially during some I don't know, I guess when pollen just goes on about, and then this is what happens. But like I think I've had this like you know back since I was a kid. I think that's how it was. So it might be some kind of a natural thing or like from the spring or the fall pollen itself or something like that, because you know I'm allergic to pollen, so I mean I'm not really having bad allergies right now, but it's usually in the springtime that I have it happen. But other than that though, then you know I guess you know it might sound strange though, but you know I've had that happen to me for quite a few times. Well, you know, like I said, I guess since I was a kid. Now some of the now going back to the gameplay here. Yeah, this puzzle kind of stumps you right here. Well, actually, it even stumped me, though, because you have to hit these switches in a certain way for you to get across. Because if you hit the wrong switch, then you have to do this all over again. And I had to restart that kind of attempt because, again, I was wasting time on that one. And there are also some stray fairies that can also be stumped as well. Like, you know, because now that we got the Lens of Truth, there are going to be some of the stray fairies that'll be hidden inside the walls. Like, you know, that kind of seems like a little suspicious here. And when you use Lens of Truth, then then the alcove will reveal itself, and then you'll see there's a stray fairy behind it. And same thing with ceilings too. Like, you know, the ceiling up there is Lens of Truth, and then there's a stray fairy right there. So, yeah, this dungeon is going to be very tricky when it comes to stray fairies, because, you know, you have to make sure, like, you know, I didn't mention how you have to look every nook and cranny that there is in the dungeons, like in Woodfall Temple, but Snowhead Temple, oh god, you're gonna have to check everywhere, especially, like, you know, after you get the Lens of Truth, and then this is where, okay, yep, you got the Lens of Truth, so we're gonna go hide these stray fairies, and you just make sure that you seem like you won't find them first. Yeah, you really, look, as a matter of fact, make sure you have a guide on standby with you in this one, because if you're going after all the stray fairies, yeah, make sure you have a guide on standby, because more than likely it's not easy to remember where the stray fairies would be. And on some of my attempts, I actually missed some of them because I forgot where they are, and so I just walked past them. And there could be a stray fairy up in the ceiling that's just hidden, and I have to use Lens of Truth. So yeah, you do want to be careful with that. Anyway, so here we are, mid-boss right away. Wow, this is actually an early start for a mid-boss, and it looks like I'm going to close the end of the video because like I guess I just sent it right then and there because that feels pretty short. It's 13 minutes long. So anyway, this guy here, I kid you not, this is Wizrobe. Yeah, remember Wizrobes? You'll get your chance right when it starts to attack. Be on the lookout for it. So yeah, you remember the Wizrobes, like in the earlier Zelda games. This guy is very different. Like, this is actually the, this Wizrobe here is actually, like, since transition to 3D, like, you know, like, it never appeared in Ocarina of Time, but they decided to bring a Wizrobe over to Majora's Mask. So this is actually its first jump to 3D. And so because of that, they actually made the Wizrobe to be, to look like some kind of elder or something. Like, you know, it's actually one of the elderly kind of Wizrobes they put here. But they kind of do, they feel like the same as the other ones, because, like, you know, unlike with in the earlier Zelda games, where the Wizrobes are given, like, these cloaks, where they look very much reminiscent to the mages in the earlier Final Fantasy games. But yeah, this one, they have a different appearance where they look like some kind of wise elders or something with magic staffs. So what you gotta do is that the Wizrobes will actually appear in, well, the first phase, he has two phases here where, like, he'll go in each one of the corners, and then once he reveals himself, you have to shoot him with an arrow, but you want to watch out and make sure that he doesn't fire those ice beams at you, because he'll do that. And also, every time you get hit, you actually hear him cackling, like, very crazily. But yeah, during the first phase, if you get close to him, then he'll actually hide into in that little square. But in the second phase, then he'll create ghostly duplicate apparitions of himself. And so you can actually get close to him to slash him with the sword, or you can just use the arrows like normal. But you want to make sure you get the real one, because the real one is the one that's solid. So, like, you know, it's not like, you know, just make sure you see it's a corporeal form, and you know, not the other apparitions. Just make sure it's a real solid one. Anyway, let's go open this chest and see what's inside. We have the fire arrows. That's the power of your arrows. Things will hit when they hit. So they kind of play the elemental arrows a little differently in this game compared to Ocarina of Time, where, like, those arrows, they're completely optional in Ocarina of Time, well, except for the light arrows. In this game, however, these elemental arrows are actually required for us, so, like, they're actually giving them a lot more useful, especially the ice arrows. Because you'll be using those quite a lot here, and so they actually give those pretty early. So anyway, I better go ahead and end out this video. It's getting close to day 2. So next time on Let's Play Majora's Mask, we are going to continue on the Snowhead, and we'll probably make it over to the boss of the Snowhead Temple. So I will see you guys next time.